Hello, peace seekers. This is Sanifa White popping in to give you a piece of my mind that will hopefully give you some peace of mind. Today, my heart is a bit heavy. My mind is clear, but my heart is a bit heavy. So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about grief and what you could be experiencing, what you could be going through. We're not going to go so much into the grieving cycle today. I may come back another time and do another video about the grieving cycle, but I'm just talking about when you're in a state of grief. And I want you to think about grief less as death and more of loss. Because the grieving cycle, we do tend to think about it in terms of death. When somebody dies, we actually lose a person or people. But there are so many other forms of grief because of loss. It could be a divorce, it could be a loss of job. In the pandemic, we lost a lot of things, just our way of life. So think of your grief in loss and not always about death. And today I just wanted to come on, like I said, because my heart is a bit heavy. I just found out a week or so ago about a couple of friends of mine that are going through some things, and it's really sad. It's made me sad, and I've experienced a bit of the grief cycle, and I know that my friends are definitely hurting and experiencing some grief and loss issues concerning what they're going through. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, if you know someone is grieving or hurting because of a loss, what you can do. Because a lot of times we want to offer something, we're not quite sure what to say, and then we say, well, if you need anything, just let me know, which is a nice thing to say. And of course, you probably mean it. Some people actually don't, they just don't know what else to say. But what I want you to get in the habit of is offering something specific. If you know that someone is going through something, especially a loss where they've got to do a lot of things and take care of a lot of business, or they might be alone, or you don't really know what all they have to go through, you just know it's a lot, offer something specific. So if you're a great cook, offer to cook them some meals and just say, hey, I want to drop by a couple of meals for the week. When is a good time for me to just drop by and hand that off to you? That is something specific that you know they're going to need to eat. A lot of times when people are in the grieving process, they don't feel like eating because they may be in shock or may be in a depressive state. So just offer something specific like that. If you're not a good cook, then don't offer to cook. But if you are, offer something like that. If you have some time on your hands, if you love to drive, offer to drive them around to all of the appointments that they have to make. Maybe that they have to go to if it is a death, maybe they have to go to the funeral home, the florist, the this, the that, get things printed, whatever. If that's the case, or whatever the case is, offer to drive them around if you have time on your hands and you like to drive. That's something specific that you can offer them instead of it being generic where you say, let me know if you need anything. Sometimes when people are in a process of loss or grieving, they need a lot of things, but they don't know exactly what to say or what to ask you for. So when you say, just let me know if you need anything, they need a lot, but it's just easier to say, I'm fine, because that's too much to process. So when you offer something specific, you just give them a choice of just saying yes or no, or I already have that covered, or yes, please, I would need that. So offer what you have, and then something even more specific beyond. Let's just say that this is a death that we're talking about. There's always a lot of attention paid to a person in between the time of the actual death and the funeral services. So what happens is, after the funeral is over, most people drop off, and then the person is left alone, or to handle other business or whatever they have to do after the fact alone. So think about giving a person a little bit of time, and maybe 2 weeks after they've gone into their grieving process. Reach out to them then. Give them a couple of weeks and reach out to them then, after everything is kind of maybe kind of calm down and give them something specific that you want to offer to do for them during that time. Think about not forgetting about the person because time has passed. We tend to do that as well when we get news or we know that something's happened. We want to kind of bombard them with offers, and that's okay because you do need things during that time period. But also don't forget about the person a couple of weeks after. Think about also if the person might need to talk to someone. Sometimes they are not ready to talk, so one thing that you could offer is to simply sit with them. If they don't need you to make the phone calls or they don't need you to do anything specific, you can offer to just sit with him or be in the house with them while they're grieving or while they're doing business and taking care of this and that. Because sometimes if they don't know what they need, if you're there, if you're sitting right there, they could easily ask for it. Or you might be able to see what it is that they need and offer it. So sometimes just offer to sit with them. After everything has kind of calmed down, ask them if they need to see a mental health professional, if they would like for you to help them schedule that appointment, if they would like for you to go to the appointment with them. Remember, when someone is in a grieving process, when they have experienced a loss, no matter what that loss is, if it's death, if it's a job, if it's a divorce, if it's a child that's out there somewhere, whatever it is that they're experiencing loss from, offer something specific that you can do for them. Help them through that process. Make things as easy on them as possible. Believe me, they will appreciate that. So I hope this content has been helpful. If it has, remember to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, comment if you'd like. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, be proactive about your mental health, be well, and God bless.